A true football Friday for all. I mean, this is your last non-NFL weekend, right? And your last non-Thursday night NFL game. And here we are. I mean, last night college football started in Tampa. USF destroyed Boise State. Tonight you got Dion. I think they're playing Georgia Tech. Then you got Texas, Ohio State, Miami, and Notre Dame on Sunday. I think you even have Carolina playing on Sunday. Monday you have Labor Day. And then here we are, Thursday. 6 days from now, you have the Cowboys rolling into Philadelphia, and you're starting the regular season. Amazing. Absolutely. I mean, the offseason just flew. For the record, as we always do, Super Chats go to the top. We appreciate all of you. Please hit the like button. We thank you guys. Again, this is the last weekend, man. I just saw that. We're going to get to that. Eagles captains have been named, Reed and Saquon. All right, so let's start there before I even get into my topics. You find it odd that the best player on defense is not the captain of your football team? Yes or no? Hell, the best player supposedly on the offensive side, you could pick one. Lane, Malata, Barkley, Hurts, AJ. All the stars are captains. And Jalen Carter's not a captain? How many years has he been here now? Is he going into his third year? He's not a team captain yet? So his teammates or somebody haven't voted him a captain. Why? He's not ready for that? And Zach Bond is after 1 year? Or here's another one. I mean, Zach Bond, he's not even a homegrown guy. And now you got Reed Blankenship. He's more of a leader than Jalen Carter. I don't know. It just looks weird. Last night at work, I took away paper towel and started saying, y'all surrendered. Talking about the Cowboys. We're going to talk more about that. I mean, BS? Okay. Well, then why isn't he captain? Why isn't he a captain? Let me go over here and take a look at something else here. Did Devontae make the captain? Is he a captain on your team? Let me name him here. Here we go. Here are the team captains. Oh, Devontae's not a team captain. Wow. I get you got to get that special teams guy in there. Jake Elliott, Jordan Mailata, A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, Zach Bond, Saquon Barkley, Lane Johnson, and Reed Blankenship. That contract is coming. That contract being named captain, the contract, in my opinion, is coming. Okay? When? It's coming. That's a pretty good honor being named there to and as a team captain. Just curious. How come Jalen Carter has yet to be named a team captain? Anything to it? Anything. Best player on defense is not a team captain. Okay? Hey, then it's not a big deal, right? It's not a big deal that he's not. Do I think it's a big deal? I don't know. All the rest of those guys seem to be team leaders, so he's not a team leader. Still young? Well, hang on here. What do you mean still young? I mean, Zach Bond wasn't even on the football team before last year. And you do got veteran guys here. You do. Reed's been on a while. Oh, Barkley also is a first. This is going into a second year, but he's a veteran guy. Those are veteran dudes. Okay. So you're saying that young players on the team aren't leaders yet, like Q and Cooper DeJean and Jalen Carter. Those guys' times are coming. That could be. Absolutely. Listen, it's just a question. Don't get your panties in a bind. Too young outside of quarterback. We've never had anyone under 25 be a captain. Okay. So is that a rule? That's a rule then. So that's why Devontae's not a team captain. Okay. I didn't know about your team rules. I got it. Right. Hey, just ask. I completely get it. Understood. Jalen Carter's not a captain yet. I thought Jalen Carter was 26. He's not under 25. So what are you talking about? JD3, he's 26 years old. It's not a take, douchebag. It's a question. I didn't give you an opinion on it. I asked you, he's not a captain yet. He's 26. How old is Carter? Let me see here. He might be 25. I don't know. Jalen Carter. He could be 25. Jalen Carter here. He's 24 years old. His birthday is, when is his birthday here? When will he turn 25? April 4th. So he just turned it. Okay. So he's 24. All right. So here, just not ready yet. And you guys have a rule that 25 years, I got to find out if that rule is true. All right. So let me get into the Dallas Cowboys. 24 hours after Jerry Jones made that move that sent Micah Parsons to Green Bay, and Green Bay surrendering 2-1s and Kenneth Clark, a defensive tackle, a 30-year-old defensive tackle. By the way, they called everybody. They called the Buccaneers for Vita Vea and 2-1s. The Bucs said no. They didn't want to give up Vita Vea because Vita Vea is the Eagle equalizer in the run game. They need him versus the Philadelphia Eagles. They're not giving up Vita Vea. I've heard Jason Kelce and Cam Jurgens say that dude and the guy in New York is a fucking handful. Okay? He's a handful. He's a handful. So, you're not giving that guy up. That's one of the equalizers that they have. Jerry Jones said they contacted pretty much every single franchise that had a dominant defensive tackle. So I would assume they contacted Philly. But again, he didn't want to trade within the division, and rightfully so. Then again, you can't take anything out of context on what that guy does, Jerry Jones, because I'm going to get to the press conference here in a minute. And I would say this to you. That's insane that he would even make that move. I'm talking Howie. Now here, Jalen Carter and 2-1s for Micah Parsons. Dude, Jalen Carter's not a better football player. He's not. He's not a better player than Micah Parsons at a more critical position. But you don't make that move because, you know why? That hurts the structure of the entire defense. That affects the entire unit. You're not trading that guy because of that. The whole integrity of the scheme would be upset through the middle of the defense, and it would affect the entire team. The Cowboys trading Micah Parsons off a shitty defensive team, that affects nothing. It completely affects nothing. They're a bad team with or without him being on that team. Now, he's a game changer when you send him to a good football team. Okay? Once again, though, how he would lose his jobs? Hey, dude, Micah Parsons is a better football player than Jalen Carter. End of story. But you're talking about screwing up the integrity of the defense, and you're not doing that. It's right. You're not entertaining that. Okay? I didn't say Vita Vea is better than Lawrence. I said that Jason Kelce and Cam said that Vita Vea and the guy in New York are the real deal, and they're handfuls. The funny thing about the trade, the Packers president, is Ed Policy, Carmen's son, same guy involved in the Haley trade. That's right. To me, this is almost the same thing of the Green Bay Packers getting Reggie White and adding somebody like that to Reggie White. And this is kind of what that looks like, Green Bay going all in and pushing her pushing the chips in. Nobody on the planet thinks that, dude. Jalen Carter's not getting $47 million. You can end that right now. He is not. He's not the player Parsons is. Parsons does more. Paul, only people in Philly would debate that. Okay? Only people in Philadelphia will debate that. And that's why I'm not going to. And Parsons isn't. I know. Okay. Anyway, kid, sit down and listen or whatever. Okay? Here's what I will take. Here's my takeaway. I couldn't believe that Jerry Jones took a shit all over Micah Parsons at that press conference yesterday. His comments were this: we haven't been a very good team with him. No shade on him. You took a shit on him right there, dude. You took a shit on his agent on the Michael Irvin podcast. Then you turned around and you took a shit on him at the press conference. And you said then we're a better football team without him. How's that not taking a shit on him? He absolutely, it just seems like this thing has been orchestrated, that once he realized he wasn't going to pay that kind of money for him, that it was going to begin the exit of Parsons. It seems to me that this was never going to happen anyway. And Jerry was just waiting for the moment to make this trade happen. And he just needed a dance partner. And he ended up landing on the Green Bay Packers. I mean, the Green Bay Packers, that pick is the 23rd pick. Let's just say it lands there next year. I think Green Bay's going to be better now. Say it lands at 28. So for the next 2 years, the only thing significant about that deal is you got 2 late first-round draft choices where you think you're going to parlay maybe up to get Arch Manning. It's fucking insane. So for the 2025 year, figure this out, folks. He traded Micah Parsons for Kenny Clark. He traded an edge rushing guy. Now, I'm suspect on him too. He traded him for a nose tackle. That's crazy. Dude, he never wanted the player there. And to undermine it even more, you offered the player. I want to show you and lay this out for you. Do you understand? Jerry offered $40 million. Over 4 years, that additional $7 million, dude, you're talking nearly $30 million that Jerry was trying to undercut Micah Parsons. 30 fucking million bucks that you were trying to undercut the player to get a deal done. I mean, what? No agent's going to go to you and go, you would fire your agent, right? If your agent came to you and said, listen, they want to offer you 40. However, there's teams out there that are offering between 47 and 50 for you to come and play. But the Cowboys are offering you 40. You'd look at your agent and go, what are we talking about here? Go get those bigger deals. Try to land me on a good football team. That's a true contender. The Cowboys aren't. I would tell my agent the same thing. Hey, look, I want to play. You could tell he wanted to stay in Dallas, but he wasn't going to stay in Dallas at that fucking price. $40 million when you got people offering you 47 to 50 million? Dude, I mean, I don't know where he was coming from. And then you turn out to make the kid look like the bad guy in this. He looks like a fucking idiot. It's like watching Joe Biden. Honest to God, it's like watching Joe Biden run the Cowboys. I don't know what he did. You know, somebody asked him a question yesterday at the press conference. It took him 11 minutes to answer a question, and he's trying to convince you that the team's better. Bro, you're going to get fucking steamrolled next Thursday night. I mean, holy shit. If you're Cowboy fans, you're looking at the guy running your football team into the toilet. That guy doesn't give a shit about winning. He gives a shit about winning at the cash register. That's all. Hey, Cowboy fans, don't expect to win as long as that guy's alive. Because as long as that guy's alive, you have no shot of winning. Because he's going to do shit like Xander said to me before the show. He's going to do shit his way and how he sees it. No other way. This guy's like a Supreme Court justice. He ain't leaving that chair until it's over. This guy's going to die in office. He ain't leaving. He is chasing the shadow of Jimmy Johnson. Okay? He is. He proved to you with that deal that he's no Jimmy Johnson. 2 1s? Dude, you build your team. Why do you guys think? Folks, Howie gives you the exercise on handling the draft, doesn't he? What picks are so important to Howie Roseman? Take the first round picks away. What picks are important to Howie? 5, 6, and 7. Why? Because you can make multiple trades. People are willing to surrender those type of deals for players that may be on a roster that are down on from 30 down to 53. Howie's able to maneuver by taking all of those picks and using them in season to make a trade for like a Jacorian Bennett. Giving up a 4, 5, and 6, okay, parlaying that in to a player that's on the roster, somewhere down the roster, down the line. He gives them latitude to be able to make maneuvers like that because teams are willing to surrender those picks later in the calendar. You know, the closer you get to the starting season and the closer you get to the starting of the first weekend of the NFL, those 1, 2, 3 picks are going to go away. You're not making picks for that, and you're not trading those picks. People aren't going to do that unless you're a shitty team. That's why he's got so many of those 5, 6, and 7s. They're important to him because it gives him leverage and it gives him a latitude to be able to move around with lesser players. And I don't mean lesser players, lesser proven players. That's how Jimmy built the Cowboys, with 3s, 4s, 5s. Not just the first rounders. They were essential. No getting around it. But you build your team with those multiple picks. Even if Jerry isn't the GM, he still owns the team. Right, he's going to make final call. What if they don't use the picks and trade them? For who? That would be something. Who, Max Crosby? Okay, you're still in the same shit. Why not keep Parsons? Now, if you're going to trade him for Derrick Henry, or you're going to trade him for a Barkley-type player, or you're going to go get a defensive tackle that's one of the premier guys in the game, sure. But nobody's going to surrender a defensive tackle like Jalen Carter. I'm not surrendering. Get this. For Micah Parsons, football-wise, it makes sense. Structure your defense, it makes no sense. It makes 0 sense to go like this. Hey, I'll give you Parsons and 2 1s for Carter. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Why? Linebackers get affected. Safeties get affected. The run game's affected. The pass defense up the middle, when you're looking for internal pressure, is affected. He affects the entire unit. The defense of the Eagles is built around him. I'm not fucking doing that. That doesn't make sense to me. I'm too close to the Super Bowl and to the Holy Grail. You're not. Him not being on the Cowboys makes sense. Him being on the Eagles doesn't. If I have to give up high equity players like Cooper DeJean or Carter. And for the record, maybe I'm thinking too high, or something I'm thinking maybe normal. Kenneth Clark, he's a really good player. He's a 3-time Pro Bowler. He was injured a lot last year. That's what you landed on? Man, I don't see that. Jordan Davis is better. If you're looking for a nose, Jordan Davis is a better player. And then he gets up at the press conference and he starts fucking barking like the Cowboys got better. I mean, the Cowboys got better with who? Dante Fowler? As your lead rush guy? You know, I've said it the whole time. I thought Parsons is overhyped. I do. I think he's overhyped. Would I have paid 47? I don't know. I don't think so. But I would have tried to get. Why did you trade him near the draft? Like, you know, how about this? In April, when you're at the draft, trade his ass there. You would have got 3 1s. Or maybe 2 1s and 2 2s and a 3. It made more sense that way around the draft. Instead, you wait until the week before the start of the year. I don't get that. We're going to do this, Leon. Okay? Rank your top NFC teams. Eagles, Green Bay, and Rams. I'll do that here in a minute. Okay? I promise you. Thank you, Leon. I appreciate that, man. Get this. Bro, stop. Stop it. Stop. Stop. Okay? Stop. You're fucking waving the white flag. End of story. The Cowboys season, as I said a week ago, is over. You put a stake in it now with Parsons. Your fucking season is over. If I were you, Texas boy, what I would do is I would get out a 2026 NFL prospectus on the draft. This is going to be one of the greatest drafts in NFL history, too, from what I'm being told. This is going to be one of the greatest drafts of all time. And this is outside the quarterbacks. If I were you, I would start looking for April because your season, it's a formality. Texas boy, watch like somebody just said in here, watch a lot of college football. You won't need to watch any NFL because your fucking season was over a week ago. Now there's a stake in it. Bro, you're not going anywhere. I mean, you don't trade Micah Parsons. You trade them sorry-ass corners you have or those safeties you have that you've been crowing to me, telling me that they're good. Deron Bland, he sucks. You don't have anybody redeeming on defense right now. There's nothing on that side of the ball, and your coordinator's not that great. What in God's name are you talking about? The Longhorns are better. If you can't stop the run or be able to take the lead, Parsons is meaningless. Okay, you're right. I mean, get this. Parsons on the Eagles makes sense, but not money-wise. You see, here's why you say no to that deal also. 2 ones and you know what? I'm going to go Jordan Davis because you don't have to give up Jalen Carter. You don't have to give up Jalen because that's not Jalen Carter they got in return. So let's just say that's Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis and 2 ones is basically what that deal is. Jordan's Clark's a good player. Clark's he's a better player right now than Jordan Davis. He's a better ball player, but he's injured. And I'll say this to you here. Like I said, 2 ones and Jordan Davis. Okay, that kind of makes sense. They just picked up the option on $11 million. But then I turn around and go, wait a minute. This guy's essential in my run stop. You know, and if I take him out of there, Byron Young is going to be the dude that's going to get elevated. There's going to be more double teams on my guy Carter. No way. No, thank you. Getting rid of Davis affects – actually, you know what you did? This trade helped Jordan Davis. Do you understand? Jordan Davis just elevated his salary and his worth on the Eagles. If you think that guy Clark is involved in a Micah Parsons deal, Jordan Davis is as good as that guy. He's as good. Okay? Dude, I'm not even debating that with you. You've got Lazy Smith. You should shut the fuck up. Every time you bring a name up, the guy on your team, Byron Young is better than Lazy Smith. And Jerry Jones getting a defensive tackle nose guard, how about this? Him getting a nose guard puts a stake in the fact that Mozzie Smith was a bust. He basically killed 2 players with 1 trade. He told you that Mozzie Smith 2 years ago was a bust of a draft pick because they went and got the DT, and then they turned around and traded him for Vittles. Stupid deal, man. It's over. Texas boy. He's in denial. It's okay, buddy. Sometimes they just don't want you back. Hey, the Cowboys wanted him back, but they wanted him back at his number. Dude, $30 million bucks. Nobody's going to put that in a trash can and light that on fire. It's disrespectful to Micah Parsons and his agent. Dude, I thought they were fighting over like $4,000 or something. Or no, $4 million. I thought they were fighting over something like that. They were fighting over $30 million. That's a huge gap when you've got people out there that are going to pay you $47 to $50 million. Okay? I mean, dude. Great take, Prince. Seals, did you just say the upcoming draft? The upcoming draft right now is being projected as one of the greatest drafts in NFL history. Just so you know, it's shaping up, and it's just not shaping up to be one of the greatest draft that we've seen in recent memory. But it's shaping up outside the quarterbacks, where there's multiple players that can really impact the football team. It will be one of the greatest drafts in recent memory. And the Eagles have a shitload of picks to go into that 2026 draft. Dude, you're looking at what a time to have that many picks. You've got 12 draft picks coming up in a draft that's considered insane. Like, it's the best draft in 20 years. That's what's being forecasted. I talked to Alonzo, Dan Morgan. I've talked to Jason Light. This upcoming draft already, the college personnel scouts are saying it's the best draft in 20 years. So you're going to have a shitload of opportunity with all those draft picks to get great players at the bottom of the first round. Problem with the Cowboys are they're not the Eagles. Eagles are going to get another great player, okay? They're going to get another great player at the bottom of that draft if they play and have a great year this year. Texas boy in DFW, please log off, JAKIB Nation. Okay, so there is where you're going with that draft. So that, if I were him, I'd be projecting that way. But 24 hours after the deal, Green Bay got better by far. The Packers got way better, and now they put themselves in a position where they're going to contend for a Super Bowl. I'm going to give you my NFC teams here in a second. All right? I'm going to give you my NFC teams. So the fallout. What does this mean for Philadelphia? Well, there's good and bad. He's not in the division anymore, right? You don't have to see him twice a year. You don't have to have Lane going against him. You don't have to have him in the division. You don't have to see this guy, which is a good thing. However, you're going to be seeing this guy in more critical football situations, divisional games, wild card games, potentially over the next 3 years. You're going to see him in NFC championship games. Those are games you don't want to see him in. Seeing him in shitty Cowboy games versus the Eagles, like in the opener, I want to see Micah Parsons in the opener, not in the divisional round of an NFC playoff run. I don't want to see that. You know, and listen, I'm not saying you can't beat him. That's not what I'm saying here. You're looking for the least resistance to get to the Super Bowl. That's what you're looking for here. So he's going to be in more critical games now in the next 3 years. So you may be sitting here going, hey, yeah, that's great. Dallas, fuck them. You know, Dallas Cowboys don't have it. Yeah, but now you're going to be, and you made an opponent that's fighting for the NFC Championship better. So that helps them in their quest. So, again, there's a two-sided edge to this. So that's the fallout there. Here. So the Parsons deal, again, You know what? I will say this. Does it make the Cowboys better? Were they in more of a need of an edge rusher? This is going to sound like we're double talking. But wait a minute. What's the biggest problem on the Cowboys? They can't stop the run. Did they get better stopping the run? Yes. Did they need Micah Parsons? No. Did the Eagles need Micah Parsons last year? No. What does that tell you, guys? You don't have to have any of these edge rushers. I don't know, personally for me, if I'm spending $47 million or $40 million on an edge when the Eagles prove to me you don't need them. It's counterproductive to what you guys and what the NFL is talking about now. I'm the only guy saying this. Do I really need a $40 million a year edge to win a Super Bowl? The answer is no. The Philadelphia Eagles did it a year ago with like a 36-year-old guy. They did it with 3 young guys, and they went on to win a Super Bowl. Why would I pay that money there when I saw Philly do it without that? Philadelphia didn't need that, and they don't need an edge. Right? I mean, you don't need it. Yesterday was a lot of fun, but the Cowboys don't really need it. You don't need Micah Parsons right now if you're Dallas. You need people who can stop the run. You need a better Would you have, hey, get this, ask yourself this. Would you rather have Micah Parsons on your team or a bunch of no-names you had last year become the number 1 ranked defense in the NFL and helped you win a Super Bowl? You had 1 first-team All-Pro last year, but you had a hell of a group. You had free agents. You had low draft picks. You had mid-draft picks. Take a look at the guys who just got paid. I want to show you something. Look at the guys who left your football team last year. One guy was a 4th rounder. One guy was a 3rd rounder. And between them, they got $45 million. A 3rd and a 4th round pick from the Philadelphia Eagles combined had $45 million between them. Right? Josh Sweat and Milton Williams. You didn't need some $47 million a year guy. No name Brandon Graham at 36? Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. No name. He's got no name in the league. Yeah. What do you think? He's established? He's not established as a player in this league, as an elite football player in end. Absolutely not. Only in your mind when you play fantasy football with your buddy, but not yet. But you've proven it. I wonder if Howie is going to sit there and do shit like this now. Okay, well, Nolan Smith wants $35 million. That ain't happening here. I'm going to spend money on the corner and the slot, the tackle, and potentially the linebacker with Jahad Campbell. But I'm not spending money on those 2 guys at the end. I could get guys who could set the edge, be good football players for me, solid guys. I don't need to have anybody that 6 sacks a year, set the edge, be a solid guy, and I could save a shitload of money and keep my integrity and my defense with Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio doesn't have a high-end pass rushing dude. We will shove the run down Green Bay's throat. They still have no run stopper and very weak wide receiver core. I think you're once again, you're trying to piss on a football team that's a good football team that got better. That's a shit take. But I do agree with you on one thing on the run. You get rid of Clark, that does suffer your run game. No question. Each team that won the Super Bowl in the last 10 years, for example, had a top DT, not a top edge. Eagles, Carter, Chiefs, Jones, Rams, Donald, Bucks, Vita Vea. It's a great take. You got to stop the run. Stopping the run is essential. Jones is right. You know, they got better stopping the run. They did. They got better stopping the run. And to me, the pass rushing, I'm starting to believe what, I've been kind of trying to preach here. And I've been telling you this since day one. The Trayvon Walkers of the world and the Micah Parsons of the world and the Myles Garretts of the world, you're not needed here. You're not needed in Philly. What's needed is a corner and safety. That's what's needed to fill up the integrity of the defense. You didn't need those guys last year. Why are you going to try to upset your football team to come off script? Right now, you've got a script going. Eagles are positioned to be the best to be all time. Absolutely not right now. I think in the next 3 years, I think in the next 3 years you're going to win another one, Rich. I do. I think you're going to win another one. But you're not winning it this year. Now, you may. You may be in the conversation here. Are the Packers now a threat to the Eagles? Yeah. Here's the threat. On September 4th, no. On January 28th, yes. Who's hurt? Who's not? How's the depth look? Your depth is as good as any other team's, including the Carolina Panthers right now. Your depth is as good as anybody else in the league. You're not special at your depth. Okay? You're special in the first 20. That's where you're special. Your roster's not special. Your 20 are. That's not a special roster. Now, Sills, what about Green Bay's roster? Are they special? No. I think there's 10 guys, 11 guys in Green Bay. Here, I'll go down the list. I say the Eagles have, and let me do this. And I'll tell you if Green Bay's a player. So let's go down the list here. Now, has Green Bay pushed themselves in the impact? Are they now a threat to Philadelphia? Okay, so let's go here now. With the addition of Micah Parsons. So let me take a look at this here. All right. How many players are on the Giants? Burns, Lawrence. I don't know Abdul Carter yet, so I'm not going to put him in there. Kayvon Thibodeau, I think, is a good player. I think their left tackle's good. I don't know. The Giants probably have 6 dudes that are really good. The Eagles. Here's the Eagles. How many players would I? Hurts, Barkley, Brown, Vontae, Goddard, Malata, Dickerson, Juergens, Lane, Carter, Bond, Q, Cooper. There's 13 sensational players, and there's probably 5 more that are really good ball players or players we don't know. Like I said, Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt. I'm not there yet. I think Nolan's showing more, but I don't know who Jalix Hunt is yet. Reed's a good player. So there's probably 20 for you. You hear what I just said? The Giants have 6. So you go down the list here of more teams here. Look, the Cowboys. I don't know. CD, Dak, one of the offensive linemen, a DB. There's like 4 dudes on Dallas that are worth the shit. There's like 4 guys on Dallas that's worth the shit, honestly. I mean, so far, you're like head and heels above everybody else. Can we figure out how to getting Jerry Jones to live another 75 years? Funny. The Bucks. Here, Green Bay. Let's take a look at Green Bay. Let's go to their depth. Love. I'm going to explain to you Love here. Love's a good player, man. Jacobs, Reed. Walker. Rashawn Gary. I can't believe that the Cowboys didn't want Rashawn Gary. Now you got Parsons, Cooper, McKinney. They've got like 8 and then probably 5 more. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They got like 13. There's like 13 good players on that Green Bay team. 13 star players. The Eagles have like 18. I mean, that's quite a talent gap. Now, again, this is going to come down to the depth of your team. Chicago's a funny team. I think they've got a lot of good players that never played together. Here's the Bucs. Baker, Irvin, Evans, Godwin, Wirfs, and Mock, Vita Vea, Levante David, Hassan Reddick, Winfield Jr. Bucs got a lot of good football players. That's going to be a formidable team early in the season, especially when you have to go down to Tampa in September. I saw Boise State last night try to contend with that humidity last night. They were in the first quarter. Let me tell you, I've seen the difference between Arizona and I've seen the difference between playing in Florida. And I'm sorry. I saw a football team last night look like butter in a pan. By the time they got to the second quarter, that's 87-degree humidity, that 90 humidity, melted that fucking football team so bad, they had a white flag in the back of their hats. They surrendered. They got wiped off the field 34-7 because they couldn't handle the heat. Dude, you can tell me all you want about a 100-degree temperature. You play in humidity like that, you're sweating your baguettes off. And Philly's got to go. I don't know why Philly continuously has to go down to Tampa. Is this the second year in a row you're going down there? I thought you went home and away if you do that shit. I can't believe they've dropped you back down there in Tampa again, especially early in the year like that. So do I think – I'm going to give you my list here of my my NFC teams here in a second here. But Green Bay easily got better here. Hit the like button, guys. So let me give you my NFC teams. Then also, because we're heading into now, we're a week out, I've got my top 10 NFL teams heading into the opener. So here's my NFC teams. I know I ranked them here. Here we go. Two, three, 4, 5. Let me see where you guys are first. 3 years in a row. Okay. 3 years in a row. Wow, that's right. Well, playoff game. Yeah. Holy cow. I can't believe that. All right. You guys tell me, give me your top 5 teams. Top 5 teams in the NFC. Eagles, Lions, Rams, Commanders, Packers. Four years in a row. NFL front offices hate your ass. Eagle, Lions, Rams, Commanders. Hey, this is a great take. Are the Packers a threat to Detroit first? Ask yourself that. I wrote that down, actually. You're talking about a threat to the Eagles. Are the Packers a threat to Detroit? When I look at Detroit's roster, do I see the Packers being a better roster than Detroit? I don't. Even with the losses of coordinators. Are they better as a roster heading into September 4th? Better than the Detroit Lions roster? I don't think so. Where are they better? Aiden Hutchinson was leading the NFL before he got hurt. You got him back. They're not better. The Packers are not better than the Lions. Their two safeties are like first team and second team all pro. Their linebackers, that kid Campbell can play. Aiden Hutchinson is a sensational pass rusher. They got good personnel, dude. Their corners are good. Their depth is good because they showed it a year ago. They won 15 ball games. McKinney is nice. He was too rich for Howie. What'd they give him? 17.5? They got him from the Giants for 17.5. Howie didn't want to go that high. Here's what I say. Let me make sure this matches up. All right. I'll put the Eagles 1. I think you deserve that. Because listen, even though I don't believe in your defense, you still have Carter, you still have Bond, you still have Q, and you still have Cooper DeJean. I don't believe in your defense. I don't. We'll see. Dallas won't be a test. Okay? The games after that, the 4 after that, Kansas City, Los Angeles, the Bucks, and the Broncos are going to be the test. The Cowboys have waved a white flag. Now, look, again, a lot of teams are in this position. It's not like when I say this, look, I don't believe in your defense. Well, wait a minute. Do I believe in the Bucks secondary yet? No. Just because you brought in a lot of good guys and they look like they played great in the spring, and then they look great in the fall here, in fall camp, and in training camp, that doesn't mean shit to me. I'm a guy that I want to see it. Okay? I mean, Denver, I don't know about their offense. Anyway, so I would go this. The Vikings, how could you put the Vikings in there when they're a headless horseman? J.J. McCarthy on a Super Bowl roster is unfortunate for Minnesota fans. You got a Super Bowl-ready football team with talent all over the place. And you know what you have? You have a kid who's just out of grad school running your company. That's what exactly Minnesota is. Minnesota has a ready-made Super Bowl roster. They can contend with anybody. There's great players on that team right now. But you know what you did? You hired a CEO, and you hired a CEO at an undergrad and said, go run my company. And J.J. McCarthy, I don't know who the fuck he is. What, because he piloted Michigan? You talk about a caboose? That guy's the ultimate caboose on leading Michigan to a national championship. I don't know who the hell he is. So I'm not going anywhere near Minnesota. Second, who would I put in the 2-hole? Matthew Stafford's back is a problem for me. Old man time catching him sure looks it, doesn't it? Sure looks it. You're telling me that if he can't play, Garoppolo's in? Well, that knocks you out of the top 5. So when you got question marks of health of your quarterback, don't you think that kind of bumps you down a bit, right? I'm going to go Lions here. Here's why. I get the coordinators. But just like you when you were 10-1 and you had those shitty coordinators, you still won 11 games. Are you under the impression the Lions aren't gonna? What makes you better? And you had a colossal meltdown. You lost both coordinators the year before, okay? The Lions won 15 ball games. Are they going to be 14 games or 4 games less? Maybe. But they're still going to be in that 11 to 12 wins. They're still going to be there. Why? Because their roster's better. And I happen to disagree with John. That NFC North is a bitch. Because you know why? You got talented players on a lot of rosters, including here, how about this? The last place Chicago Bears. Do you think they're better than the Cowboys? How many people in here believe the Cowboys are not as good as the Chicago Bears? The last team that could finish last in the NFC North are the Bears, and they might win 10 ball games. Dallas they're going to win 5 to 7 games. Minnesota should get Bryce Young or the Rams when Stafford retires. I still think a good coach, there's something there. There's a lot up there in Minnesota. The coach is great. If I were Baker Mayfield and the Bucs don't give me the right contract that I'm looking for, I go, and if J.J. McCarthy shits the bed this year, if I were me, I'd land in Minnesota. That's a ready-made team for a star quarterback. Shit, can you imagine Joe Burrow on that Minnesota team? He'd be fucking crazy great. So I'm going to go Lions too. Number 3. Who would I put in that 3 hole? Rams, Bucks, Commanders, Bears, Vikings. Who would I put in that 3 hole? Get this. Name me a more talented team than the Lions in the NFC. Name me one team that's got more talent and more Pro Bowlers than what the Detroit Lions do in the NFC. Name me one outside of Philly. Just one. Name me one, dude. Bears do not. Rams do not. Okay? Their front's good. Dude, they got multiple Pro Bowlers at every level on every single front. Running back. They got 2 guys that are 1,000-yard rushers. They got 2 receivers and a tight end that's all pro. You got arguably one of the best receivers in football sitting there at Amon St. Brown. Whatever. 49ers are better. Okay. All right. Thank you. I got it. So I'm going to put the Rams 3rd. The 4th team. Who is that team? I'm going to put the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here. I think the Bucs have the deepest wide receiver group in all of pro football. I didn't say the best. I said the deepest. When this kid, Micah Parsons, is your 3rd wideout, and Chris Godwin and Mike Evans are your top 2 guys, and you're that deep, and you've got 3 deep like that, you're the deepest wide receiver group, especially in the NFC. Nobody's deeper than you. And plus you have a quarterback that throws the ball and can get the ball to those guys and has thrown for over $4,000 and has scored 28 points a game. So Micah Parsons is number 2 right now. Godwin will be back, according to Jason Light, in week 3. And that, I can't remember who I think it's the Jets they play in week 3. He'll be back for week 3. And again, I think the Bucs, their backfield, they got Bucky Irvin, the kid White. They got the best offensive left tackle in football in Tristan Wirfs. They've got one of the greatest run stoppers in the game in Vita Vea. Arguably the top 3 safeties in the game in Winfield. So I'm going to put the Bucs there. I'm going to put them at 4. Now, again, Josh Grizzard's a brand new first-year play caller. That's going to be something to keep an eye on. Who would be number 5? I'm going to put the Packers here. So here's my 5. And I've got Chicago and San Francisco at 6 and 7. You can put them in any order you want. Eagles, Lions, Rams, Bucks, and Packers. Are the Packers a threat to the Lions yet? You have to be determined. I want to make a point to you about something that I heard. Xander said something about Jordan Love. So I did some deep diving on him. And I looked at Jordan Love. 18-14 in his first 2 years starting. I think it's 9-8, 9-8. The last 2 years with a playoff win. I think he's 1-2 in the playoffs so far in his early. He's only started 2 years. He's been on that roster for a little bit. Let me pull this up here. And let me throw this out. Now, I will say his completion percentage is not where you need it to be. And that shows me inaccuracy, and that shows me inconsistency when you're sitting at 63%. Okay? Now, if you go over to Jalen Hurts' stats, for some reason, I have no idea, but they have him as a 64% completion guy. Jalen Hurts is not a 64% completion guy. In my opinion, I think Jalen's more 68, 69, somewhere in there where you want him to be, up near 70. In today's NFL, you want those guys to be productive between 67 and 69. You don't want them to be anywhere south of 65. 65 to me seems low. I mean, that doesn't seem like a very accurate guy. So, like, for every 10 passes you throw, 6 are completed, 6.5 are completed. That's not the number I'm looking for. I want you to be up near 7 almost. 7 out of every 10 passes. I'm going to move the chains on that. So, I mean, they have no deep passing game. What are you talking about? They don't have a deep passing game. That's been canned. They throw slants and seam routes. They don't throw deep passes any longer. That's not what they do. They have no... Dude, I'll say it one more time to you. The reason that Jalen Hurts will never throw for 4,000 yards, they don't have a screen game. They don't have a short perimeter game. They don't have any of that. Okay? Yes, they throw some. Okay? I wouldn't call it a deep passing game. Okay, I mean, that's not a deep passing game. That's a play. That's not a fundamental philosophy that they have. That's a play. Bro, when you have 3 games and you look at trends, the trends are not throwing the ball deep. They had 361 total attempts a year ago. How the fuck are you talking to me about any kind of consistent passing game, deep passing game, when you don't throw the fucking ball? What in the world are you talking about? Dude, your attempts and volume speak to it. You're out of your mind. Tom Brady wasn't a deep passer. Lighten up. 1 year, Brady threw the ball deep in his career. 1 year. The rest of them were checkdowns. Okay? Most of them were checkdowns. Get this. If you've got a proficient passing, deep passing game, why are you 30th in yards? Answer that. I could do it when we want to. That wasn't the case a year ago. I'm not getting into this fucking stupid shit. So here's Jordan Love. 57 touchdowns in 2 years. Starting. And 28 picks. 1 year, he threw for 41, 59, and 32 TDs and 11 picks. You think that's bad? 41, 59. Let me take a look at this. He threw for 41, 59 as they were rebuilding that football team. Again, the Packers haven't been a great roster. They've been okay. But in 23, he threw for 32 touchdowns and 11 picks and 41, 59. Completion percentage, as I said, was down. You don't want it to be around there. Okay, and last year, if I'm not mistaken, he missed the first couple games because of injury, right? He got hurt in Sao Paulo. He still had 25 touchdowns. He's got 57 TDs in the last 2 years. He's almost got 60 touchdown passes and 22 picks at around 11 pace. So you're throwing 30 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. You think that sucks? Boy, I don't. That doesn't suck to me. I think you need to get a better football team around him. Get a better defensive football team. Improve the roster. Keep improving the roster. Keep improving the run game. That's not sorry. The Packers yesterday, what they did was they improved their football team by doing what? They went out and got a premier player. So Jordan Love is going to benefit from having a guy like Micah Parsons on his football team. Micah Parsons fits the Packers. He doesn't fit the Dallas Cowboys and where their rebuilding is right now. I'm going to be watching the Penn State game. I want to see how the cornerback Harris is. Keep an eye on that quarterback too, because supposedly he's going to go high. Big Sills, maybe you're right. Cowboys will cook this DB room. Yeah, Dak's going to have to throw the ball 50 times in this game. That's not going to result in a win. But I'm saying that he's going to throw for over 300 some odd yards in this ball game. You're still going to win the game 31-17. But when you look back at the game, Dak's going to have like 50 passes, somewhere around 64% completion percentage. There'll be a couple picks. There'll be like 3 TDs and 2 picks and like 350 yards. But it won't matter because most of that shit will be because they can't run the ball. Dude, if you can't run the ball, you got to throw it every down. So where do you think he's going to go? He's going to throw the ball to the weakest links in the secondary of the Eagles. He's going to attack Jahad Campbell. He's going to attack Sidney Brown or Makuba, whoever. And he's going to attack your corner. He's going to do everything he can to isolate that. They know that. They know the weak links already on your team. Now, if those guys show up and prove differently, all right. But that's where they're going. And why are they going to go after Campbell? Campbell's new. It's not because he's not good. He's new. Glazing the Packers? Who's fucking... Shut the fuck up. Glazing the Packers. Jalen prefers sacks to checkdowns. Yeah. A little bit. I think Jalen... Wait. I'll take that back. I think Jalen accepts sacks versus turnovers. Okay? Sacks versus turnovers. That's what I say. Why would it be a mistake, Professor, to go after Campbell? How do you know he knows what the fuck he's doing? He's only been an Eagle for 5.5 months. So you think a kid picked up Vic Fangio's pass coverage, 2-eye safety in 5 months and in 4 weeks of practice. Good luck to you, kid. See what he does. 28-3 going into the fourth, and Dak will throw. Yeah, like that, maniac. Like that. Something like that. Exactly. Yeah, something like that. So we'll see. He'll throw for about 300. Hey, maniac, I'm with you. He'll throw for about like 200 yards in the fourth quarter, and he'll be down, like you said, like 25 points. And it really won't matter. Oh, guys, I got to show you something cool. Out of nowhere, look at this. Got sent to me yesterday. Check this out. To Dan Sileo, great player and friend, Barry Switzer. Is that not dope? I'm going to hang this up in the back. One of the greatest college football coaches of all time. Coach Switzer sent this to me. I don't know why. But I think that's dope. By the way, Philly Godfather at 5:30. Isn't that cool? Truly, I think he won 4 national championships. And Coach Switzer sent that to me. Man, I always wondered what it was like if I had ever played for him. I think would have been interesting if I had played. I'd signed a scholarship to go play for him. But, yeah. Thank you very much for becoming a member. Thank you. I appreciate that. All good, my friends. Hit the like button, guys. Don't forget, Xander's going to join us also at 3:30. We'll get his thoughts 24 hours after the Jerry Jones deal. My thought, I agree with Xander on this with Love. There's just too much inconsistency, but I think that's got a lot more to do with the roster. I saw him in a playoff game against the Cowboys. I saw him out there just absolutely flinging it around the yard. That was a 12-win football team Dallas had. And I saw him rip that team a new one. And I saw him in a playoff game. It was his first playoff game, and he torched them. Then I've watched him just sometimes you do this. This is what I say about him. And I think Matt LaFleur is a good coach. Switzer's been on the show before, my friend. We've had Barry Switzer on. You do this with Love. Man, that guy's got great talent. Then you do this. What's he looking at? I mean, what's he looking at there? What is that? So I still think he's a young player with tremendous upside. He's going to continue to get better. To sit there and say that that's the guy. I mean, every time I say that to you about Hurts, that's the guy, you guys go, this guy's got a higher ceiling. Why doesn't he? Why? Because he plays with the Green Bay Packers? He's only been starting 2 years. This is his third year starting. Now he's going to get an opportunity to be on a good football team this year. I don't know, man. That's, I mean, how could – I know. Jaden Daniels is going to have a bad year this year. Jordan Love sucks, but Hurts is the best. I got it. I mean, I got it. This is a true statement here, and he's right. Jordan Love has had the same coordinator for offense since he joined the league. We need to stop the excuses for a guy getting paid $50 million. I listen. No excuse. There's no excuses, dude. There's reasons. You're confusing reasons for excuses, and you're doing that. You're excusing it, and what you're doing is you're using the Super Bowl win for Hurts to downgrade these other guys and their other organizations who don't do enough around them. It's true. His inconsistency is a problem. No doubt. But did you ever think, get this, Jalen Hurts is 12-20 without A.J. Brown. Do you think there's anything to that? He's 12-20-1 without A.J. Brown in the lineup. He's an under 500 quarterback. I mean, getting better players around guys also is. I agree with you, though. The coordinator thing does matter. He's had the same guy. I completely agree with that. Bro, you can't be walking off the fucking football field with the same guy. And the same guy's been in your ear. And I don't think those numbers are bad. 32 touchdowns and 4,000 yards. I mean, 10 picks. I don't think that's an awful season. I don't. Hit the like button, guys. All right. So those would be my 5 teams in the NFC. I still think Green Bay's got to prove to me that they're better than Detroit. Before you could tell me that they're better than the Eagles. Are you better in your own division? Are you better? Right? Are you better in your own division? One more time, I'll say this about Jordan Love here. He's had the same coordinator. He's inconsistent. He has flashes of greatness. He has flashes of, wow, that's not cutting it. He does have that. And he's got to right the ship on that. Absolutely. Okay? And that's a him thing. The inconsistency part, hey, you can lose ball games, but you can't be the reason you're losing games. And some of those games a year ago are on him. How many times, like, when you saw Jalen lose the Super Bowl in 22, right? They didn't lose the Super Bowl because of Jalen Hurts. They lost the Super Bowl because of poor field position, special teams, and defense. That's what lost that Super Bowl. Wasn't Hurts, right? That's what you want your quarterback to be in the room of. I don't want my quarterback to have cost me games. You know what I'm saying? All right, so hit the like button, guys. We appreciate it. Xander will join us at the bottom of the hour here. We're going to talk also about the 2025 Dallas Cowboys here in a second. I'll also put this out there. I want to put my top 10 NFL teams. By the way, Philly Godfather is going to join us at 5:30 Eastern time. This is going to sound like a cop-out. Okay? But I want to give you my top 10 teams right now. More so than anything, my top 10 rosters in the NFL. Okay? These are my top 10 rosters. I've got a three-way tie. I've got Eagles, Ravens, and Bills. Those are my three-way tie. The Bills being the lesser of the rosters because the quarterback is so good. Those are my three going into this year. Plus the fact that in the AFC, I think the Bills are going to be a little bit more fraudulent because of who they're playing in the AFC East. So you're going to see a shitload of wins. It wouldn't shock me if the Bills win 16 ball games or 15 ball games, if Josh Allen's standing upright. Every game on that schedule, they're going to be favored. Okay? Number 4, I got Kansas City. Number 5, I've got the Lions. Number 6, I have the Rams. Number 7, I have the Commanders. Number 8, I have the Bucks. Number 9, I have the Broncos. And number 10, I have the Packers. I think any one of these 10 teams can win the Super Bowl this year. Why? I don't think any one of these teams have a deep roster. Not one of them. Not yet. Not until we see it. Not until we see the backups. Your backups were so fucking good. Okay? We're so good a year ago. I don't know if anybody on this team or any of these teams have a good, deep enough roster. Good defenses. The Broncos probably have the best defense along with the Bucks here and the Ravens. I would take those defenses on this list. I would take the Rams getting better, the Bucks for sure, and the Broncos and the Ravens. The Ravens improved dramatically on the defensive side of the football. I don't think the Texans have a good enough O-line, Sig. You know, I've been doing some, like, somebody's got me going on a show on, like, Outkick. And they've asked me to break down some of the games and some of the teams. Steelers could be a sleeper. I just don't know who's running the ball for them. Metcalf is a big addition. What's Rodgers going to look like? Their offensive line, to me, is okay. You know, Cam Hayward's 37 years old. Okay, where are we going there? I mean, is he still going to be in the conversation there, right? Chargers will be a sleeper. I think the Chargers can actually win the West. That's going to be a very competitive. By the way, I think the Raiders are getting better. They've added 2 great players, I think. I'm wrong about Genty. They love him, and I've seen him run. He looks like The real deal. Okay, he does. He looks like somebody who's going to be somebody. And then they got Bowers the year before. They need a quarterback in the room. And I don't know Geno Smith's going to move the needle for them. Okay? Rams winning it all this year. They were the only team to come close to beating the Eagles and made Jalen run all over the place and backwards. Yeah, Jalen had like 100 some odd yards passing in that game. He was brutal in that game. Then again, it was snowing and it was home though. Steelers are the AFC version of the Cowboys. A circus scene, that shit show too many times. Yeah, but the difference is, Kyle, the Steelers don't lose. I would take this. Okay? I would take this that the Patriots have I think they've done a lot of work. I'm a Drake May guy too. I am. I'm a Drake May dude. The 2025 Cowboys will do that here in a minute here. Yes, true. But let me ask you something. The Eagles are a running team, right? The Rams were a passing team. Matthew Stafford had no issues throwing the football in that football game against the Eagles. Jalen did. And that's a home field for him. Strongest division, AFC West or NFC North? I still think the North. I think the Ravens are the best team in the AFC. The Bills and Broncos are just beneath them. Kansas City's in the mix, but I think Kelsey getting too old and their O-line is issues. Still may not be completely fixed. I agree with you. Okay? Seals, do you think you'll ever see a backup bowl again? No. That's exactly what the NFL doesn't want. Okay? They do not want that. Seals, I love Tomlin, but I just think the least runner run all over them in the locker room. Hence the drama. AB, Juju, Le'Veon Bell. You know what, though, Martin? He did get the most out of those players, don't you think? What's this? When did this pop up? Sills, could the Packers switch Parsons back to line? Why would you do that? Keep him out there. Keep him more versatile. Keep him in a position where he can rush the. I would put him at the Sam, though. I wouldn't put him in a position to be on the I'd put him on the Will. I'd make him on the Will linebacker side, where he's on the weak side and he's not taking on tight ends, and I'd move him all over the place. I'd move him in a position where, again, come on, Tomlin just sticks around 500 every year. Can't get a young quarterback on his team to be his franchise quarterback. Mike Tomlin's not the talent evaluator on the team. That's a personnel issue. He doesn't have Howie Roseman in the building. So you want the head fucking football coach to pick the quarterback, to evaluate all the talent, and then coach the team to non-losing seasons in 18 years. Wow. I wish your coach had a job like that. Right. No need to move him. Flex him out. Yeah. Keep him in his versatility mode. I mean, absolutely. Right. That's what okay. Tomlin makes all the decisions. Tomlin doesn't pick the draft. He picks his coaches. Okay. They pick the draft. He does make all decisions. When he gets the football players, Mike Tomlin coaches those players. He's not ahead of the draft. They've had a personnel guy in the building, whether it's Neil Donahue, whether it's Kevin Colbert. We've had Kevin Colbert on this program. He told you how the hierarchy works. They, along with the coaching staff, get together and they collaborate. They don't do that in Philly. Howie makes all decisions. The coaches don't even know who's coming or going. Howie does that. Well, in Pittsburgh, it's different. It's a collaborated difference where they go and they look at the players. This is who we're looking at. Mike Tomlin goes, okay. They bring them in, and those are the guys they're coaching. Mike Tomlin hires every fucking guy on that staff. Sirianni doesn't. They just do it different in Philly. That's all right. I think he is. I think Omar Khan is a good GM. Okay? They still haven't gotten the quarterback right. Aaron Rodgers at 41 is not getting it right. They haven't had a succession plan at the quarterback spot, and they stood with Roethlisberger way too long. They didn't get out from that player. That's what happens when you got franchise quarterbacks. You stick with a guy. You keep hanging with the guy. Even when the guy's out of vapors and he's out of gas, you'll hang with him. And then get this. You get the Mason Rudolphs. You get the fucking nobody quarterbacks. And the guy's still winning football games. You win 9 games right now if you're a Pittsburgh Steeler. But 9 wins is not the benchmark in that franchise. That's not – there's a reason they've won more Super Bowls. There's a reason they've won more Super Bowls than any franchise in the NFL because they believe in their continuity. Who's under Tomlin's coaching tree other than Arians? I'll have to take a look at that. It's a good question. I don't know. I know that he's on Mike Tomlin's under Tony Dungy's coaching tree because he coached in Tampa. And I believe he was with him in Kansas City when Tony was a DC, or maybe up in Minnesota. I forget where that was, but I know Tomlin was a Buck assistant coach back in the day. Steelers just need a franchise quarterback, and they're dangerous. And again, that's not Tomlin's call to pick a quarterback. That's the organization. Remember, Tomlin doesn't pay these men. And really, at the end of the day, I mean, Aaron Rodgers, that's not really a plan. Tomlin was the DC in Minnesota. Yeah, Tony was up there first. Tony was the defensive coordinator of the Minnesota Vikings. Then Tony got the head coaching job in Tampa. Tomlin must have ascended to that job up there. Okay? It's Tomlin's job to develop, not to develop. One, stop making excuses. Again, there's reasons. This is another stupid take. He'll try to tell you Mike Tomlin got fired in Pittsburgh. He'd have a job in 4 seconds. 4 fucking seconds. There wouldn't even be a question. And if he decided to go into the broadcast booth, he'd be making $25 million. Mike Tomlin is one of the hottest commodities. I know this for a fact. If Mike Tomlin ever got fired, I wouldn't be shocked that the Bucs fired Todd Bowles and hired Mike Tomlin. Maybe Tomlin should delegate some of the power. Nick has the same amount of Super Bowls. Nick has no power in that building. He has no say on personnel, and he has no say on assistant coaches. None. I thought we've been over that. I thought that's been explained to you. He has no authority over that. None. He puts game plans together, has a great culture in his building, understands the culture of the building, understands how he's doing, what the owner wants, what the coaches need. That's what he does. And he does a really good job of that. That's his job description.